All right, guys, I don't know how much time I got. It is so hot in here right now. I have closed all my fans, the AC, there's a gajillion spotlights pointing at me, and we're gonna put this cooler to the test. While the EasySMX M15 has been sent for a review, and I already did the review, the other things that I'm gonna show you today have not. So I've paid them with my own money. And right now I'm gonna put it off camera on the top layer at least, but I have this running on a macro, which is a game called, it's more like a tech demo really on Android, which is called Principles Prologue. It pushes the phone to the max, and so that you guys know what I'm doing, I am currently pushing on Diablo mode, which is the absolute most highest mode that you can on Snapdragon 8 Gens, whatever. This is the Red Magic 8 Pro, so I believe that's the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 if I recall. The fans are closed. Every feature that I can put on this is on, and I'm even gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna plug in power, because if you charge battery at the same time, it creates more heat. It's been going up to approximately 80 Celsius degrees, but I'm gonna put it aside because it keeps moving like this. I've put a 2-minute macro. This has been running for probably 30 minutes, and I have a case on. Anyways, let's get onto the controllers now. They're already unboxed, but I'm gonna show you in the cooler. Basically, you have this little manual, which is not really important. You had this little magnet sticker, which can be used in some cases. I'm probably gonna install it on the M15 because I don't think I'm gonna be needing it as much on the tablet mode, and I really am questioning the efficiency of this thing. But anyways, basically the way that the cooler works, okay, so let's start with that. You open it and you can put the sticker, but you don't necessarily have to. The only thing is it can fall depending on the width of your phone, and you just install this part on where this goes. And by the way, this is battery operated, so it has a battery in the cooler. You can charge it here, and you have different modes, and this is the fastest. You guys are probably gonna hear it. What this does really is it pulls air and it pushes colder air here. So once you install it, let me show you guys what it looks like. It's gonna look like this. And this is basically the reason why I am questioning the efficiency of that cooler. Quite frankly, I don't expect that it's gonna do a whole lot. And I know a lot of you were hoping for this cooler solution to be really good. It's better than nothing, but I don't expect great. The Memo S3, and if you've seen my EasySMX M15 review, one thing that I mentioned that I was gonna review this one and that I was curious to see if the features were the same is for one specific reason. When you look at, and I don't know why that is, but when you look at the Memo S3 and the EasySMX M15, I have not seen anywhere in promotions where it says that it can go up to 1000 Hertz pulling rate. I've only seen that when looking at the tablet mode, and in fact, it's even on the box for this one. Maybe the non-tablet one has it on the box, but anyways, that's not the issue. We'll look into that. In the box itself, you had this, and which was the controller, and a manual. And for the most part, it looks like the box from the EasySMX M15, but with just a different color scheme. I kind of like this one better. But it's very similar. You don't necessarily have to install this, but it does help guarantee that the cooler is going to stay on. And as you can see here, it's basically a magnet. And I have noticed indeed when I open it, and if it's there, and for example, my phone is wide or I need to open it, it will fall. So I feel like it's going to be more likely to be efficient on a phone. So I will install it right now. And there it is. It doesn't change anything, it can close just fine. And now when I install the cooler, it should work better. All right, and now indeed it stays, whereas without the magnet, so now on the longer one, it still holds a little bit, but it can fall, as you can see. So let's talk about the differences, and they're extremely simple. The buttons, the same. The triggers, the sticks, the mechanical D-pad, everything on these two controllers are identical. You have the same channels, it's the same USB-C. They're the exact same paddles in the back, same feel. You even have the same little sticker here for your modes I mean, everything is absolutely identical. There is zero difference between these two controllers. If you want something that will have a better support for tablet, that's the one you want to go for. If you want something that is going to be better for phones, this is the one you want to go for. And here's the reason why. Because this one is already wide, which by the way, it works with phones. It works with my iPhone. It works with the Red Magic 8 Pro. But here's the thing. You are barely going to open it when it comes to using it with a phone. So logically speaking, you wouldn't benefit from having the cooler, or you wouldn't be able to use it with a cooler if you're using on the phone because it's going to be too wide. The other issue, quote unquote, is that you have the camera bump, and even the Red Magic that I have, the case has a very small camera bump compared to what I have on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. The camera bump is just, it pushes a little bit, so it still holds quite nicely if I'm being honest, but it doesn't hold as nice on a phone. So let me show you an example here of what it looks like. Here, you see, like I have to push it down and it doesn't hold as nice. So this is with my Fold 4. I don't know if it's gonna, sorry for the fingerprints here. But yes, it doesn't hold as nice. Whereas if I put it on the phone model, it holds a lot nicer. So this is really the difference. And of course, the tablet one will support up to, I want to say about 11 inch of a tablet, which is, we're talking 11 inch 16 by 10. To give you an example, I just reviewed this Blackview Tab 90 Wi-Fi. And in that tablet, it actually works, as you can see here. Now, I tried this with the iPad 13 inch. It doesn't fit. It's missing like 1/4 of an inch. It really is not missing a whole lot, but it doesn't fit the 13 inch. So if you're looking to do that with a Tab S8 Ultra, a Tab S9 Ultra, you can pretty much forget about it. I'd say anything up to 11 inch. So even the Tab 7 Plus, is it Plus? Or Tab 8 Plus, these models, like the 12 inch type model, they shouldn't fit on that either. But I, for sure, the 11 inch iPad Pro would fit with this. So you have the maximum width, which I think is on the box. I threw it away, but I'll put it on screen. As long as your tablet has a lower width than that, it will fit no problems. Okay, so now another thing that I wanted to bring you guys in this video, which is a very cool thing. As you know, the EasySMX M15 has a Bluetooth mode, which you can connect to a variety of different devices, your PC, your iPhone, your Android phone, by using the X input mode wireless. Now, X input wired doesn't work on the iPhone, but the wireless one should work no problems. And of course, this is also what you can use to play Call of Duty mobile on Android devices. Now, this very nifty tip and trick and such a brilliant solution comes from MisterDNEH. If you don't know, MisterDNEH is another YouTuber. Love what he does. He's actually got an Indiegogo campaign right now on this device called the DNA Duo that connects to a variety of different devices to give you a dual screen experience. Love what he's doing. Super excited to see that product in people's hand, mine included, because I think it's going to be a very nice solution for just a better Android experience, which I actually got to experience way back in the day with my Rogue phone and the TwinView dock. Actually, one second. Here, that's the TwinView dock. So you would connect your Rogue phone here and you would have a top screen over there. And oh, what? Oh, whew, I thought it was cracked, but I guess it's a screen protector. Whew, I got scared for a minute. Anyways, yes. And I just don't know where I put my phone. And I would want to find it back because I've been seeing his DNA Duo and it inspired me to do dual screen Android gaming. And yeah, I just need to find my phone. It's somewhere in the box and I haven't had time to do this. Anyways, I'm getting a little sidetracked here. We were having a private conversation on Discord and he brought this idea to me and I was like, wow, this is cool. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, wait, this is more than cool. This is actually brilliant. And basically you take a battery bank, and he mentioned that one specifically, which comes in black and white. I only have the black model, but and it has a USB-C right down the middle, which is what makes it awesome. And it's really not that heavy. So you plug it in like so, and bam, you have a controller. And contrary to what we have with the Absolute, for example, the Absolute S9 that I just reviewed, which is a phenomenal controller, you have the ability to change your modes here. Now, of course, we are on the Xbox mode. There's nothing I can do with that, but I can still go ahead and change to the Bluetooth mode, even if I'm not on the right one. Now, of course, there's only one Bluetooth mode here compared to the Absolute, so technically that wouldn't be much of a problem, but it does work, and you would still be able to go back to a wired mode. Granted, I don't see why you would want to do that because, of course, it's a battery. But you know, it's a cool solution to have a controller that becomes wireless even if there is no battery, even if there is no power. Because that's the thing with the EasySMX M15 and the Memo S3, there is no battery in these controllers, so you do need a source of power to be able to use them Bluetooth. It is now time. Let's use this controller actually before I show you another, well, secret, quote unquote, with these controllers that makes them even more awesome than I realized. So we're gonna go ahead and take our phone, and I'm sorry if it causes a little bit of dizziness for some people because of that macro, but okay, right now. So it's charging, going through the controller. It's moving like crazy. Let me take my trusty fold. So the phone, as you can see, is definitely warm. It is warm to the touch. When I put my hand over, like it's warmer than the actual ambient air. This is definitely hot, without a doubt. Looking at the phone itself, the internal are again hovering over 75 to 84-ish. It's kind of bouncing back and forth in there. By the way, there's a fan on the Red Magic 8 Pro. It is not open right now. So I'm really pushing this thing to the absolute max that I can. So let me go ahead and install the cooler as it is installed in the controller. I'll go ahead and start the fan. And you know what? Let's go just straight for the third speed. So far, this is pretty much giving me what I expected, which is nothing. It's not really doing anything now. And that's the thing, guys, like it's really, that's really all it's doing. It's pushing air on the phone. I don't see how that would make a world of difference. And this is the result I'm having so far. It's just not making much of a world of difference. It just isn't. I'm sorry. It's been running for... I've been recording for... You know what? I'm gonna give it a bit more time. See, it's definitely cooling the top of the phone now that I'm pushing air on top of it. The top of the phone is already back to being warm. So that's what I'm saying, guys. It's not really doing all that much. So there's two ways that you could look at this. Something is better than nothing, which if that's the mindset you're having, then okay, sure. Will that stop your phone from throttling if this is an issue that you're having? Honestly, I don't see how. There's just no way for me to believe that this would actually make a difference. But yeah, I mean, I have it. I might use it from time to time, but I would think that it's more of a placebo effect than anything else. In fact, it might be better if you're pushing the air on your face, if being absolutely honest. I think you would get more value out of this if that's the approach that you have. So yeah, the cooler, I don't recommend it. I think it's pretty much useless. However, I kind of need that right now. It doesn't do a whole lot even for me, but it does make me feel a little cooler. I'll say this much. I'm sorry, it might get in the microphone, just for the heck of it. Let's see what happens when I use the fan of the actual phone. Yeah, now that's making a difference. That is already making a difference. I'm a lot more stable at 70. It's the first time I drop in the 60s, and it's been less than a minute that I've opened this fan. So without a doubt, the phone active fan obviously, you know, makes a better job. Not a perfect job, but it's already better in terms of performance than what we were getting from that cooler. It's just not that solution. Now, there are other products on the market that I will review at some point. The D10S, for example. the X3 Pro Aurora from Gamester. These devices I'll be testing, and I expect better results because these actually pull the heat from your phone rather than trying to cool it with air. Now, there was one last thing that I wanted to talk about with this these controllers. I have to do two things first. Number one is I want to give a shout out to the person who brought this to my attention. We were having a conversation on the hands-on EasySMX video, and if not for that person, I'm gonna be completely transparent. I wouldn't even have thought twice. And the second thing I need to do before we go any further is I need to apologize to the viewers, because that is something I completely missed. It seems to be a conglomerate kind of app where you have a lot of different controllers that can rely on this app and maybe create their software, their customized tool suite. So because it's a third-party software solution, I just thought, oh, it's gonna be for screen mapping basically. And as it turns out, I was completely wrong. This app goes a lot deeper than I originally thought, to the point that it's completely transforming the capabilities of this controller. Now, this app is called MooWee Gaming. I'm not sure if it's available on iPhones. I'll put it on screen if it is, but it's definitely there on Android. I downloaded this one from the Play Store. And in MooWee Gaming, there seems to be another app that is called the Inkfish something. Anyways, you can connect to your controller. Now, here's the thing, the very interesting thing. As long as you have power on your controllers, even if it is not on a Bluetooth mode, the Bluetooth antenna is working. So right now, I'm not seeing this one because the Bluetooth mode is connected to the phone, but I'm seeing this one, which what you're seeing, the blinking here, is a wired mode, and it's appearing here. So I'm able to tap into the controller, and I'm actually gonna put this aside to not get anyone dizzy. You can completely remap your buttons to whatever you want. It is completely baffling for me to realize that this existed, and here I was thinking it was only for screen mapping. But this is really just the surface. But whatever buttons you want to remap, you can remap. Then you can completely change the dead zones of your sticks. You can invert the value of your sticks. You can manually set the response curve of your sticks to whatever you want. They do offer some profiles, and you can distinguish the left side to the right side. You can address the dead zones of your triggers left and right, and you can also make them a hair trigger if you want if you want something that is software corrected, and you can address the intensity of your rumble. I didn't think that. Again, and my apologies guys so much. I realize some people watch my video and they trust me and they make decisions based off of what I say. And if in any capacity I pulled you away from the M15 and Memo S3 because I said there wasn't a software, again, I truly apologize, because never would I have thought that the software that is in there would have been this complex. It really is shocking to me. Now, again, it doesn't stop there. You can save your profile. So if you want something for quick switching, you have to log in, but you can save your profile. When you go in settings, you can change the pulling rate. And as it turns out, that is not only for the Memo S3, that is also for the EasySMX M15. Again, they're the exact same. So both controllers do support up to 1,000 Hertz pulling rate. So that also completely changes the performance portion that I was saying during my review. And I thought it was only the tablet mode that could do that, because the advertisement mentions it on the tablet mode, but not on the phone side of things. But you can. And here, if you want, you can test your sticks, test your triggers, test your buttons, your paddles. You can test everything. And this is the app, guys. And then, of course, you also have all the different mapping solutions. Another thing that I almost forgot. When you're in your mode, this is something that I've seen people ask Absolute to be part of their software. When you're in your mode, whatever mode you're on, and you're at the splash screen of the MooWee Gaming app, you can click on Xbox mode, and it shows you all the different modes that you have here. So for example, right now we want to try the screen mapping. So I just click on this mode, confirm, changes it for me, and bam, we are now in the mapping solution. Pair, yes. Okay, close. So now let's go in Call of Duty. So now that we are in the game, and that was super easy, super simple, you just click here and then you have all the different features. Guys, in terms of the mapping, it's very much like any other software. So you do A, and then whenever you push A, it's gonna do the place where you put it on the screen. File, you can save your profiles. You can test it, so you can see here A is working. If you see that little flash here, you can hide the buttons if you don't want to see them. Masking, I'm not sure what it does, if I'm being honest. And then if you want to go back to the app. And there you have it, guys. I mean, I am pretty shocked at how deeper the M15 and S3 allows you to go than I originally thought. Let's talk about the pulling rate. Because I was able to adjust my sticks to something to my liking, I did do that. I did change the curve to something I felt was better for me to do in terms of aiming. And then I tested 125, 250, 500, and 1000 hertz. And the funny thing is, the higher I went, the lower my score was. Not by a lot, but by a little. And that, in my opinion, makes a lot of sense, because you actually do feel a difference, especially when going from 125 to 1000 hertz. You do feel that the 1000 hertz is more responsive, that it seems to be a much granular level to your sticks. And that makes sense because there is ultimately more communication with the device that you're testing on. But it also means that there is going to be a little bit of a learning curve, because you are working with a higher clarity solution in terms of your sticks. Not the stick itself, the sticks remains the same, but the amount of data that it sends is increased. I don't think it was by fluke that at every level I was consistently finding myself to have a slightly lower score. With that said, what shocked me is how high those scores were. And that is the difference when being able to calibrate your sticks to something that works for you. Maybe you are extremely good with micro movements. I am a natural shaker. Doesn't matter what I do, I always shake. So for me to be able to really make it so that the start of my movements have less impact on how fast my camera moves allowed me to be a lot more precise. So if I was to play for a month on end with a 1000 hertz mobile telescopic controller, we've never seen that on the market, by the way. This is like a breakthrough, and be able to adjust my sticks to the way that works best for me, that means that this is endgame. Put it this way, this controller has just made my upcoming tier list that much more complicated. I don't know where I stand right now. I just don't, because this controller is the beep. I wonder if they could even software update it to add a switch mode, because again, with the battery, thank you MisterDNEH for that super awesome tip. With the battery, if you had a switch mode, you could also use it on your Switch. Now, of course, you don't have gyro, unfortunately, but you know, maybe there's going to be a Memo S4 at some point, and EasySMX M20 or M25. Because yeah, they need to keep the last digit 5, as this is that line of product. That is it. That video was supposed to come later, but as I was benchmarking and doing all the things that I do before preparing for a video, I just thought, well, I have to put this out as fast as possible. So this is probably why this video is probably going to be fairly minimalistic in terms of like B-roll and all that stuff. And also, I should have probably said that at the start. I would strongly recommend, if you are interested in picking up the S3 or the Memo at the M15, that you watch my review on these controllers, because you have a lot more information there about the feel, the buttons and everything. But yeah, I wanted to talk about what differs, what makes the Memo S3 different to the EasySMX M15, which is basically nothing. And in what way can you maximize the output of these controllers, and it's pretty crazy. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. As always, please consider hitting a like. If you have any questions, drop them in the description box. and consider subscribing to the channel for more videos like this one. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.